Half-time, Kevin. Celtic won, Shakhtar won, Celtic won, and I'm no going to lie. I was quite glad of that half-time whistle actually coming there. That was a first half of two halves, definitely. And I think we can see both teams are confident sides. Shakhtar have looked a completely different mob after their undeserved equaliser.
Oh, 100%. Aye, we're definitely in a game tonight. You can see that. Well, first 15, 20 minutes of the game, I thought we were excellent. Just the intensity of the play, playing on the front foot, taking it to them. I thought, this is set up to be the big away win that we kind of crave all the time. And then, I don't know, there was just a moment. It was kind of just round about the midway point in the half. We just kind of slowed it down for a wee bit, and that gave them a wee bit impetus. And I think from then on, they've looked better than us for the rest of the half, really. Didn't deserve the goal in terms of like the run of play at the time, but since then they've deserved to be level. I think they've caused us quite a few problems and looked pretty decent.
They have caused us quite a few problems. I think the goal gave them utter confidence, and it gave the crowd confidence as well. Who I'm actually quite surprised it's quite a sparse crowd. The reports that we were getting, it was going to be like quite. It was going to be full. It was going to be quite raucous. Doesn't seem that way. We heard the Celtic support plenty of time in the first half. But again, we started off great. We started off really, really good, and it looked like that we belonged at that level. It looked like we were going to actually had a couple of chances to actually score. Then we did actually score. We did actually score, and it was a decent goal. Juranovic gets in, turns out to be a decent ball. It's a great ball. It's a great ball across. Atati does really, really well, but it's quite worrying again. I think Sarah Hogan comes in. We need to take our chances. Can't be wasteful at this level. What I would actually say more about that, Kevin, is we need to actually make sure when we're on top, we punish teams when we're on top. Mm-hmm. We need to actually keep that going. This don't stop mantra. We need to actually play like that for the full 45 minutes, especially at this level. And again, when they equalised, Kevin, the first thing that went through my head was going, we lose goals like in batches. Mm-hmm. And I started looking at the clock, going, how long is it to half time? How long? And that's my PTSD of watching Celtic in Europe. I'm going, how long is it to bloody half time to actually get in here?
After the first 10, 15 minutes, you should never have been thinking like that. Because we're so dominant. But you can't help it at the moment. And my stream is about a minute or so behind, and my soccer stand app went off to tell me that it was 2-1, and it was about 3-4 minutes after the first goal. And you're thinking, well, if that's true, I'm not surprised, because like you say, we lose goals in batches in Europe. Kind of maybe got one with that one. The ball did just cross the line before Mudryk cuts it back in. But it was after the first 15 minutes. We should never have been in the position where we're like praying for half time to come. Still with 10 minutes of the half to go. Disaster in a way. And I think you're right. I mean, again, spot on that. My notes in this first half are exactly the same almost as they were against Real Madrid, because I've got in both games 1 minute chance. It was Zabada last week, had his chance in 1 minute, and then he had another one after 4 or 5. Today we had Kyogo getting the chance in the first minute. Taylor's wee drill cross across the box as well that Kyogo was close to. And we've got O'Reilly's got a header in 5 minutes, and I don't think maybe Kyogo's was the only real clear chance out of them. But when we're on top at that time, we've got to be taking the chances. Then when we do with Atati, you think, again, we'll settle in and we'll do this. But really, we didn't create a clear-cut chance after that, which is surprising and a wee bit worrying. But hopefully, we're getting at half-time. We're still very much in the game. Ange can just get them regrouped and we'll go back out and hopefully start with the same level of intensity that we started the first half with.
Brian comes in, Brian, a contributor to Acsom. Their goal made us nervous. I think half-time came exactly when needed. I'm going to actually agree with that, Brian. I think I was quite glad half-time came. Stomp City points out it's a half and 2 quarters. You're right, mate. I failed my maths. I failed my maths at school, so you're right there. I'm just having a look at the commenters. Michael 89. Will Ange hook Jota at half time? Harsh.
I hadn't thought about that one as such, but I did wonder if he would make a change and bring Abada on for one of the wide men, because like apart from the assist for the goal, Haksabanovic has tried hard, but he's not had a great impact since then. And Jota has been pretty quiet, actually. He's had the shot right at the end of the half where he's cut inside and let go for the right-hand side. Other than that, he's not really taken his man on and beat him and looked dangerous or threatening as he does in the domestic game. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if either one of them maybe did come off and we had Abada or Maeda on in the second half, or just a different threat.
I says Jota was harsh because, again, there's a number of players that you can maybe look at that never done nothing after the first 20-odd minutes, and I think Haksabanovic is one, but we can maybe give him a free pass. You can maybe give him a free pass because of the lack of game time. But we have got, and if there was going to be a change at half-time, the change at half-time would be for Haksabanovic. I think not Jota. If there is going to be any change whatsoever at half-time. The midfield, I thought the midfield started well again, but then dropped out the game. Their goal came for a slack pass, and it was just trying to force the issue. We didn't need to force the issue at that point. We're 1-0 up away from home in Europe. And I think that mentality kind of came through. There was a couple of times where we tried to force balls and we started giving away silly possession rather than just taking a breath and seeing what was actually going to happen, Kevin. And for the goal, you're more tactically minded than me. Back in my head's going, why did Joe Hart duck? But I didn't blame Juranovic for it. Once that boy's got a run on him, he's got a run on him. There's no much Juranovic can actually do there. The mistake's further up the pitch, and Juranovic is always trying to cover that mistake at that point.
I think so. I think if you look at it kind of in isolation from the moment of the pass, you could maybe think, is Juranovic too far forward? Could he have dropped a little bit deeper? And you could maybe put a blame on him somewhere, only if you look from the pass on. But I think again, if you take the whole move, he's positionally sound where he is if we keep the ball. But as soon as we lose it, and it's a really good pass, kind of into that channel and behind, and Mudryk's got pace to burn. He's always going to win that ball first. And again, I don't think you can blame Joe Hart for that one. I did see that as well. He's come out and he's kind of slid down, ducked his head, but he's only human. You're really going to put your face in the way of that every time? I don't know. Some people say he should because it's he's a keeper. He's there to block it, but I don't think you put any blame on him. I think you say from the moment they picked the ball up, was it Sudakov? It's a great pass through. Mudryk's really good finish for it. But the blame comes, if you want to put any on it, it's the way we've given the ball away pretty cheaply in the midfield. We don't have to do it. We just got to, at that point, we've just got to keep things nice and simple and keep it ticking over. Try and move the ball out to the left or whatever, but don't force the issue if we don't need to.
I think in the first half we kind of forced the issue. Steve O'Mac comes in and he makes a great point, and this is, there's a couple of commenters thinking that we've been a bit negative, but I think I'm just talking emotional. Like when I was sitting watching that, you actually saw the Celtic end as well. They were singing up until the equaliser went, and it's a case of going, oh no, here we go again. And I think we've been through that too many times, and we need to actually get over that. And the second half is going to show the mentality of the team. Steve O'Mac actually says, this is where the big boys play now. There are no terrible teams. They will punish you. That is true. That is true.
That's true. And that's what Shakhtar did to Leipzig last week. Was it they had 4 or 5 shots and scored 4 goals, and today they've had, I think, maybe 2 efforts at goal. Both of them have been on target. One's a goal, the other one Joe Hart saved from Shved in the bottom right. they've been clinical when they've had the chance. Everything's been on target, and that's where we'll just need to improve, just that next level thing going forward.
Oh, we're getting it tight, Kevin. Far too much negativity, always something to moan about. Hoggy Boys at 1960, pure negativity for Acsom as per usual. We were great for the first. How often can we say we were great for the first 20 odd minutes and we've dropped out the game and we were hanging on by our skinny our teeth there at half time? We're talking about it at half time and how we're feeling just now. No, when we're 10 minutes into the broadcast and the second half's about to start and we've got options on the bench. And we're having Jonathan Brown comes in. This game is still there to win. Second half will tell us a lot about the mentality of this team. This is what I'm looking to. I'm looking at this mentality of this team to come through because I think we've got a handle on this side. I think we had a wee bad spell there just before half time, but the first quarter proved that we've got a handle on this side. And Hoggy Boys, maybe quite right. 1-1 away from home in Europe is nowhere near negative. I think the negativity is coming from how we started the game. The half chances we couple of missed, and the fact that we're disappointed that we've dropped out. Well, that's where I'm coming from anyway, Kevin. I'm not 100% about you, but that's where I'm coming from.
I mean, I don't think we've been overly negative about it. I think you say the first half of the first half we were excellent. We dominated the game. If we can get back to that level of intensity, I think we'll go and win in the second half. But you can't talk about the first half and then miss out that second part of it when they did dominate. They got a big lift from the goal, as you'd expect. Our heads went down a wee bit. And it's just taken us basically to half-time or 5 minutes before half-time to really get over that. But we've weathered the storm in that time as well. We haven't lost a second goal. We've got options to come off the bench. We've got Ange in there regrouping them just now. So we talk about the first half and we'll talk about it as honestly as we can and tell you how we feel about it. But second half, I still think we're good enough that we can go in and win the game.
I think there's chances in it for us. I do think there's chances in this for us. Again, we look decent at this level, but we still look short if you go for that last second part. But then I would expect this team on this trajectory to look like that. We're not going to completely dominate away game away in the Champions League. We've got to remember this is the Champions League. Shakhtar have a step up for Ferencváros. We've been completely dominated against Ferencváros in the Europa League last year. This was an absolute step up, and the players are learning all the time. But we can't just keep on giving them an excuse. And Ange Postecoglou won't be giving them an excuse in there. He will be telling them what they've done wrong, but he'll also be emphasising to them what they've absolutely done brilliantly. That's what he'll be pointing out to them as well. I think we'll actually see Maeda or Abada within, if they're not making the change just now, for Haksabanovic within the first 10 minutes of the second half. And as what a positive is, we never lost another goal before half time.
Exactly. As I said, we weathered the storm. We weathered the storm that they put on us. We're still very much in it. And Ange is going to get the players back up for the second half. Even last week, we came out and we were all guns blazing. Maeda misses his chance 2 minutes into the second half. It wasn't as if we stopped playing at half time. We'll come back out, we'll be re-energised and we'll go. And we've got the options on the bench that, even if we did lose a second goal, there's players that can come on and still rescue a point. So it's definitely not a lost cause. There's a lot to look forward to, I think, in this half, and we will create chances because
I definitely
can do that.
It's a kick in the hormones, that equaliser in the way that we played in the last 15 minutes. That's all it is overall. And you were talking about an emotional state. The game's still going on. The game's not finished. The game hasn't got a full stop yet. So at the moment, I've had an emotional kick in the balls, but I'm not on the pitch. I can't influence it. I'm just hoping the players can actually get over it and get back to what they're doing well. And I'll get back to no hiding behind the couch, because that's what I'm doing in that last 15 minutes there. Jai McGarvey comes in. Forgive me for getting his name, but the guy on at lunchtime got it spot on. Stop Mudryk, and we win handy enough, but we haven't been able to. He's involved in everything dangerous. The guy at half-time is John Hughes Jr., and he pointed out Mudryk as Shakhtar's danger man. And actually, when you look at that Shakhtar team, he is a class above everything else in that team.
Oh, aye, absolutely. We'd been told to watch out for him before, and everything comes down the left through him, and everything has. Like, it's not an exaggeration. He's the man that makes them tick. If there was a way to just keep him quiet, like, they've got some decent ball players in midfield, but he's the danger man. He's the one that will play the killer pass or take the shot on. Keep him quiet, and I don't think they're scoring again. I'm hoping not anyway, put it that way.
I'm hoping not either. We're getting told that Maeda is coming on for Hackshaw. So what we'll do, lads, we'll see you here at the final whistle, and we'll pray that we're celebrating 3 points at the final whistle. And we hope this team shows what we're actually made of. So we'll see you all back here at full time, and please just, I'm going to say keep the faith. Come on, let's keep the faith. Let's go. See you later, lads.